Good Friday, ladies and gentlemen, it's Deniz from Deniz World of Bodybuilding. I recently made a video about Chris Bumstead and his evolution, his transformation from his high school or college days, I think high school, to his competing days in bodybuilding. So part 1 is out. It got like 5,000 views, so I will link it into the description if you didn't see it yet. But let's talk about Chris Bumstead and his evolution part 2. This is part 2. Hope you'll like it. If you like it, give it a thumb up, of course, because the last video didn't get that many thumbs up. So if you like it, give it a thumb up. I will be thankful. Let's start. This was the picture, where the last video ended, flex zones. You see that he was already there, from his body. There is not a huge difference between then and today. When you check those pictures, and I will go to another picture which is very recent, which he posted today. So he was already there, more or less, and this was from the 21st of May 2015. But he was still doing stuff most of the bodybuilders don't do, like a little CrossFit and muscle ups. I won't play this video because it has a music in it that I don't have the rights for and everything, and YouTube would not like that. I know it, but he's always known for his great legs, and in this picture too you see that he has superior legs, so he is a legs guy. And in this picture he was 7 weeks out from the nationals, and he was 240 pounds of weight. And the crazy thing is that always looked great on stage, but here, okay, maybe it's a bad lighting, but when he's a little, not having those low body fat, he's not looking that spectacular, but also he not looking like he's that many weeks, only 7 weeks out, and in this picture like 6 weeks out. But on stage he delivers. That's important. And now the interesting part comes. Regan Grimes, we all know him from his Kuwait trip, and you will be very, very shocked, when I show you some pictures about them. This is Regan Grimes from the 8th of June 2015. This is how he looked, okay? Together with Chris Bumstead. So back then, Chris was even a little superior muscle-wise to Regan Grimes. At the max, Regan was on his level, at the max, okay? And you know how Regan is looking right now. He's an IFBB pro bodybuilder competing in the open division. He's right now in Kuwait, and this is Regan Grimes right now. Say they both went completely different ways. Okay. Chris chose, the classic physique, and Regan, obviously, like you see, chose the open class. Write in the comments, which do you prefer? I think they both will be successful. Chris is already successful, and Regan is new into the pro bodybuilding scene, and I think he will be successful too. He has a talent. This is Chris with long hair. He's known for that, and his mustache. So nothing new, but interesting. Sometimes he has short hair too, obviously, but I think if Chris Bumstead would have wanted it, he could do some damage in the open division too, like a next Deniz Wolf or something. He's tall, he has that frame, but at the same time, looking at those pictures and everything and what he decided to do, I think it was a good decision to choose classic physique. First, it suits him well, And secondly, health-wise, I think his body will be more than happy about that decision. And the crazy thing is, when you look at him 7 weeks out and then a couple weeks later, a lot of things happen in the last weeks of contest prep, obviously. You see that it's crazy. And now here, 3 weeks later, he looked completely different than 4 weeks ago, 7 weeks out, and you already see that that's a classic physique. And that was before competing there in classic, because first you have to get that pro card, obviously. Could do the vacuum pose, he still can do the vacuum pose. Maybe if he would have chose the open division, maybe he wouldn't be able to do the vacuum pose and destroy his classic lines. And he was always into heavy squatting, heavy deadlifting, so the compound exercise was always a main thing for him. And he just looks very classic. I think it was a definitely great decision for him to do classic physique, to choose that path, because obviously he wanted to get a pro, and with that division he has the opportunity to look the way he wants to look, not the way he has to look. A lot of bodybuilders, they don't want to look that big, or they don't want to get that big, but they still get that big, because in the open division, you have to get as big as possible with the best condition, with a good conditioning and everything. So no limits on getting, there is no too big or something like that. There's just too small or too soft. But in the classic physique, of course, there's too big, because there are weight limits. And you see that he has not the most gifted biceps peaks, but that's genetics. We saw the pictures in the first part where he was younger, and you already saw that that he had such biceps peaks, but he could have had worse genetics. So I think he should be happy about his genetics. Yeah. I don't know if that MyFitness was his gym or his workplace back then, or his sponsor or something like that. I don't know that. Yeah, this is him getting more and more close to the contest, and that's obviously the contest. Great front lat spread, sorry. Great front lat spread. Looking pretty good. Third place in men's heavyweights at nationals. And that was that was in the 2015 season, and he said more to come 2016. But looking at these pictures, I have to say that obviously in that 2-year time span from July 2015 to the Mr. Olympia 2017, he definitely gained some weight. You may not see it that much in the off-season pics, like I showed you before, but you see it in that contest pictures. Yeah, he definitely gained some weight. And obviously after contest, you enjoy yourself, you eat stuff you want to eat, and he just did just that. Yeah, great conditioning, small waist. Like I said, that bicep peak, especially his right biceps, is a little weak, but genetics is genetics. Yeah. And if he had chosen the open division, I think it would take him that long. It would take him really long to get competitive in that division. Whereas in the classic physique division, he could just step into it and be successful from the beginning, more or less. Yeah. Not bad, obviously. Yeah, like I said, after contest, he's enjoying himself, getting into off-season, trying to get bigger and bigger. Not bad. And here you see a little transformation. Always interesting to get some transformation pictures. Read that. Cringe every time I look at this pic. This past February I ended up in the hospital. So that was from the February at the same year he competed and looked like this, more or less. This past February I ended up in the hospital and was bedridden for about 2 months and off solid food for a few weeks. I treated my body like, not good, partying way too much at school and eating crappy cafeteria food, and I paid the price for it. I had no intention of stepping on stage this year. It wasn't easy putting the size back on and starting prep in the time I had, but with the help of his coach and a damn good grind, we got the job done. Crazy. So on stage he looked amazing, yeah. And a couple months ago, on stage he looked amazing. And a couple months ago in February, he didn't look good at all. So, great success story here. Obviously, you have muscle memory and everything, but still great. Not bad, I think. Not bad. But then you still have to see that he was not an IFBB pro back then. He was not IFBB pro. Yeah. But at this point, you could not see which route he will take, I think. Couldn't see it. It could be either way. It could be open or classic. And then they didn't have those opportunities to choose between those because you didn't have the classic physique. 6 plates, squatting, and like I said, he's very strong in that, and he got stronger and stronger there. Here, he's obviously in off season in August, and he's enjoying himself with other weightlifting friends. Look at those legs and calves of his body, man. Crazy. And just enjoying himself and getting bigger and bigger. Look at this. I mean, but the crazy thing is when you look at this thing, you would probably not believe me if I say, okay, this guy will get second place at the classic physique. But he ate his way up because he needed lots of size, and he did it, and at the end he really achieved what he wanted to achieve. And respect to that, being very incredibly strong, doing what he did, evolving all around and evolving steadily. Crazy. What I really think is crazy too, I read that a couple times now in this post, he did train biceps and triceps nearly every day. Favorite exercises to finish off arms, been training biceps and tries alternating 6 alternating days, 6 times a week to get these kids to grow. So like I said, he has a genetic weakness in his biceps, but he trained it a lot of times. Crazy thing, I didn't know that before, and he still enjoyed it himself. Yeah. But now he's more and more really getting to that size he now has, and yeah, not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah, this is obviously a throwback picture because he was in off season. This is off season progress picture. Yeah, that's not bad too. Thanksgiving. Yeah, Thanksgiving. Enjoying himself with friends. Basically, I don't know if I have to continue. Basically, this was part 2 of the video series of Chris Bumstead Evolution. Instagram evolution, body evolution. I really think that on Instagram, on this, he has so many pictures there that you can really see the evolution of his body. If you want me to do part 3, give this a thumb up. If this video will get 50 thumbs up, I will do part 3. It's your choice. Write your opinion in the comments. I wish you all the best. What do you think on that Regan Grimes story? 2 years ago he looked like almost natural, and now he's that big. Crazy, right? It's no joke. I showed you the pictures. I really didn't believe it myself at the beginning, but it is how it is. Subscribe to my channel. Bye.